Hi everyone, welcome to Cook That Meal. Now it's a little bit different as far as video is concerned. We are just in our kitchen, which is in the middle of having renovations done. That's why we have multicoloured cabinets behind me there. And this really is a no frills video. It's just basically cooking dinner like you do every night for your family and your kids. So tonight what we're going to do is a one pot meal, and basically it's sausages and it's any veg that you have on hand. So if we come down, we'll have a look at the vegetables that we've actually got for tonight. So the vegetables that we've got, basically we have capsicum, we've got an apple, we've got onion, carrot, and we have cabbage. And the sausages that we're using are a casalinga sausage. They're actually quite a nice tasty sausage. Basically this whole meal comes in at around about $10. So really all you need to do is chop everything up, throw it in a pot, stick it in the oven, and in around about 45 minutes later it's done. It's really quite simple. Now you can throw everything in together if you want to. What I normally do is brown the sausages. Just makes it look a little bit better at the end. The sausages don't look anemic when you finish. So first of all what we'll do is brown the sausages, and we're just going to use the same pan, so we'll put a little bit of oil in the pan, brown the sausages on top of the stove, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what else to do. So what we're going to do is just put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan. It's just to help the sausages not stick. And we'll pop our sausages in. So we've got 5 of these. This is also a good recipe if you want things like sausages to go further. So if you're doing things on a budget, what you can do at the end is cut the sausages up and then just disperse them through the actual dinner. So we'll just brown these sausages, and when we're finished browning we'll put them on a plate and then we'll cut the rest of the veggies. Okay, so we've browned our sausages, and as you can see the sausages are not cooked all the way through. They've just got a little bit of colour on them, and that's just so that after they are cooked you do have some colour on top of the sausage. Otherwise, because we put them on top, they'll just be white, so they look a bit better if they've got a bit of colour. This was the pot we browned them in. It's still actually hot. It's on a trivet at the moment, so I'm not burning the table. There's a little bit of oil in there. So what we need to do first of all is just cut up an onion. So it's just a brown onion. And the good thing about this, you don't really have to be that careful about how you cut things up for this. It's really just pretty much throw everything in the pot and away you go. So it's a quick, easy meal. If we can get the skin off the onion, of course. There you go. Get this one off as well. So the preparation time for this is pretty quick. So basically we're just roughly chopping our onion. It doesn't really matter how large a pieces you chop it into, it's all going to cook down anyway. So we'll put the onion in. You can actually hear that sizzling a bit there because it's still quite warm, that pot. The next thing to go in is our cabbage. Now all these have been pre-washed. So just cut the stalk out of the cabbage, and then really with the cabbage you can just chop it into pieces. Probably between 1 centimetre to 2 centimetres, around about 1 inch thick. It's really just chopping it up, and you don't really have to be that careful. So we'll just chop this into pieces, and we'll put that in the pot. It's all done. Throw the cabbage in. Now we don't put any water in with this as we're cooking. The reason being is cabbage actually has quite a lot of moisture in it, so it's not really necessary at all. So in goes that cabbage. I'm going to then roughly chop some carrot. Again, it doesn't really matter how big these pieces are. Quickly chop this up. So in goes the carrot. It's just a layer on top. We have some apple. Because we've got pork sausages and we've got cabbage, the apple goes really nicely. Again, you can leave the skin on the apple. It's just a matter of cutting the apple up. And we will grab another apple because that one is bad. that's better. So we'll cut the apple up. And again, we really just want to slice it, keeping the skin on, keeping the nutrients in the apple. And as I said, this meal really is about $10 all up. It really just depends on how much you spend on the sausages. I would buy a decent sausage, not one that actually has a lot of fat in it. So the cheaper sausages usually have a fair amount of fat. And then we just throw in some capsicum. As I said, you really just throw in what you've got in the cupboard. You can put in just, this is only half a capsicum because we had the rest of it last night. So just throw those in. With capsicums, you always want to cut out that vein in the centre. It's a little bit bitter, so we'll just take that out. And then we'll give it a chop. Now we've got our oven on. Our oven's on around about 350 Fahrenheit, about 200 roughly, 175, 200 degrees Celsius. Just chop these up. Again, just roughly chopped. And then in they go. So they go in. Now we've got a little bit of garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you like. Again, just a sprinkle. We'll put in our salt and pepper. So a reasonable amount of pepper going in there. And then our salt. And then on top, all we need to do is place our sausages. So basically, you can see in there, you've got your sausages on top and you've got all your veggies and everything underneath. So we'll pop a lid on that and put it in the oven for around about 45 minutes. And from there, all you need to do is put a little bit of balsamic vinegar, or even you can put red wine vinegar, or even apple cider vinegar. I might use apple cider vinegar today. Splash of apple cider vinegar in there before you serve it. And we normally would serve it with a little bit of mustard and some mayo on the side. So we'll pop the lid on, put it in the oven, and we'll come back and have a look. In 1 hour in the oven, and the sausages are now cooked. When you think about this, there's really not much in there as far as flavouring is concerned. It's just really some salt and pepper and your garlic powder. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll just show you the amount of moisture. Can you see moisture in the bottom there? Now, all of that liquid has just basically come out of your cabbage and your vegetables. So we'll give this a little bit of a stir. And then what we'll do, so we're just giving a bit of a stir around. Now, a lot of the other flavour that actually comes from this is actually from the sausages. Because the sausages are actually cooking in with everything else here, there's a lot of flavour from your sausages. So basically, to finish off, all we do is we put a little bit of olive oil, so just a splash. Now, remember, I haven't given any amounts for this recipe because it's really just what you have in your cupboard. It really doesn't matter. So in this, we have half a capsicum, 1 carrot, we have 1 brown onion, and we have a quarter of a cabbage. We've put salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder in there. We've just put a little bit of olive oil in, and now we're just going to put a little bit of a splash of apple cider vinegar. We actually do have an apple in there as well. So just a splash of apple cider vinegar, like so. That's all we need. And then we're going to give this a bit of a stir. And then I'll dish this up and you can have a look at what it looks like once it's dished up. Okay, so to serve with this, you could use just mashed potato if you want. We just usually have it as it is. It's really nice with this little bit of homemade aioli, which I'll just put on now. If you don't know how to make aioli or even mayo, store-bought stuff is fine. So store-bought aioli or store-bought mayo would be fine. For this, even a little bit of mustard with it is quite nice. But in a future video, I'll show you how to do a homemade aioli. It's very, very easy to do. Okay, so Matilda is behind the camera. She's just going to come around now and have a bit of a taste. So Matilda, if you want to come around this side of the camera, so I'll cut, this one's yours, so I'll cut a little bit of yours. Now you've had this before, but you really like this, don't you?
Yeah.
So let's just put a little bit on here for you. Now it's going to be hot.
Okay.
I'm going to grab a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm going to grab that.
Do I go?
Yeah, go. You'll be fine. Honest opinion. She's going to go, blah! It's hot, isn't it?
Mmm.
But it's nice.
That's really good.
Oh, good.
I think it was better than last time
Oh.
we made it.
There you go, even better. All right,
That's
so
good for
from
me.
both of us, it's goodbye. We'll see you next time. Really easy meal. It cooks by itself. It's really flavourful, and it's really cheap to do. As I said, around probably $10 to $12. Now, obviously, we've got 2 larger serves and 2 small serves. You can put more sausages in if you want to, but it's a really cheap, good meal and very nutritious and tastes yum.
Yeah.
Okay, so bye.
Bye.